with me is the founder of Comfort Project. She's an advocate for the youth of the foster youth of America. Now, we want to know more about what she's doing with Comfort Project. It is something that is much needed in the world. We do so many things with other organizations, and what she has chose to do is something miraculous, that which I think is very much needed. Now, Mary, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so please tell us more about Comfort Project.
Well, this is my 5th year doing it. It started because I was a foster kid myself. I went into foster care as a teenager, and our motto is every child deserves a place to dream. So what we work on is providing bed-in-a-bags, comforters to provide comfort, and a place for a foster kid to aspire and dream for goals and aspirations that they may have in the life after foster care.
Okay, well, Mary, I was reading something on your website where it's talking about you're getting ready for the holiday season.
We are currently raising money for different group homes locally throughout Ventura County. Right now there are over 900 children in foster care throughout Ventura County. That's whether they're in group homes, in individual foster homes, facilities, things like that. And they're actually always going in and out of Ventura County. So even though you may join foster care in Ventura County, you can get sent out to LA, to Bakersfield, to different areas throughout California. And there are other children coming in from outside areas to Ventura County. So in general, like you said, I'm not just advocating for Ventura foster youth, but for foster youth in general, not throughout Southern California, throughout California, and throughout the United States and around the world. Unfortunately, foster care is not limited to a particular area, culture, or generation. It's something that's been happening for many years, and there are a lot of children affected by it on a daily basis.
Okay, so tell me something. What are you joined together with anybody? Is Comfort Project joined with any affiliations?
Well, we originally started as a lone organization, the Comfort Project. We work together with local group homes, utilizing their tax ID. I don't have any board members, so I work purely as an advocate through the Comfort Project. I piggyback onto the group homes tax ID numbers, and I call and talk to different organizations, people, businesses to help raise money, to raise awareness, to gain community involvement in order to really provide success for these foster kids once they age out. We need to foster connection and foster community within the foster kids. Unfortunately, many foster kids bounce around from place to place, location to location, so they don't have the ability to develop roots or connections to a lot of different people, places, or things in their community. So that's kind of where I come in, offering the connection between the community and the foster kid and raising awareness in general to help. As far as being connected right now, Oxnard College is actually one of the leading colleges in offering assistance for foster kids and kinship care. Kinship care is when you grow up with grandma or grandpa, aunt or uncle, anybody outside of your parents. So at Oxnard College right now, and also in Ventura and Moore Park, but like I said, Oxnard's the leading college, we have what's called the Guardian Scholarship Program. And what they do is they specialize in offering assistance and different scholarships or financial assistance. Like right now at Oxnard College, we're connected with the food share. So foster kids and kinship care kids that have aged out of foster care and are currently attending Oxnard College can come in and take a break, have snacks. They have scholarships where you can have all of your books paid for, different things where we help them connect with resources and foster success.
Wow, so I see that that's very important, as you said, once you age out, the adult foster kids, they still need help.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
As most of us, if you've gone to college, you know it's not something that you really can do on your own.
Right.
If you're a full-time student, being a full-time student and going to work full-time, you still need somewhere to live. You need somewhere to take a break throughout life. So with foster kids, they turn 18 and there's not a big funding for transitional housing. They don't have any connections with the community. They don't have people that are like, oh, hey, yeah, you can come stay with us, because they grew up in this sheltered area of foster care. So what we try to do is foster success by giving them a little less to think about. If they're registered for a full set of classes, then they don't have cars or places where they can say, okay, in between this class, I'm going to go home, take a break, and have lunch. So that's what the Guardian Scholars offer. They offer a room, there's couches and a microwave and food, and it's a place where they can go and study and take a break and rejuvenate themselves. Our goal at the college is to foster success. And the only way we can foster success with foster youth is by fostering connection to the community, connection to themselves, understanding. We spend a lot of time as foster kids just doing what we're told. You wake up and you run a program, basically is what they say. You run your program, you do what you're told, and so when you get out of foster care, all of a sudden you have to tell yourself what to do. And these are all new ideas for a lot of foster kids. They have to have their own motivation to wake up. And it's difficult when you grow up not knowing why you're even here. Foster kids, a lot of times, they feel unwanted, they feel neglected, why am I going through this? Why me? And so what we really want to do, both with the Comfort Project by providing them a place to dream, providing them their own identity with bed-in-a-bags, blankets that they can take with them wherever they go, is not only to foster comfort and the ability to have dreams, but also to foster success and the ability to achieve what they're dreaming.
Well, I think that's great. I think that is wonderful that you being an advocate, Mary, knowing that you were raised also in the system, you were a foster child. So I think that she is someone that is has a lot of knowledge about this particular area. I mean, when we were talking before, we were doing an interview before off camera, and she was telling me all these things about the foster care system and so forth, and how she was raised and things that affected her. And I was like, wow. So you really clearly have to understand, if you've never been in that type of situation, just like I haven't been raised in the foster care system, so I couldn't even understand on her level where she was coming from. But then when she was telling me, sharing with me, it touched my heart. So I know that there is a need for us to stand up as a people, to come together and really support the foster care system. Not just talking and not just thinking, okay, it's the holidays and we should just give back and just do our duty, to pat yourself on the back, to make yourself feel better about doing something. Like I said, there's 365 days out of the year. One day, it's going to make somebody happy, but it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. These kids, like when Mary was telling me before, she's saying these kids just asking for the necessity things, like a pair of socks, some stuff to do your hair.
You can actually go online right now at thecomfortproject.org, at comfortproject.org, excuse me. And there are wish lists that some of the foster youth have turned in for the holidays. And like she said, you'll see 10-year-old little boys asking for boxers and, 16-year-old girls asking for shampoo. These are basic needs that, our parents get us. People in our lives, we don't ask for socks and underwear at Christmas time. We ask for toys. That's what children do. But as a foster kid, what do you have toys for? Where are you going to take them? You don't have a toy box. You don't have your own room. So that's why we really try to provide things that are necessities to them, but also things that they wouldn't think are identifiers. Like when we go home after a long, hard day, we go to our bed and relax. When we've had a great day, we jump on our bed with joy and squeeze our pillow, and that's our place of refuge. For people in foster care, all they get is a twin bed. It's like being in jail. You get 3 hots and a cot. And so when you go from place to place and someone's just giving you hand-me-down blankets or blankets that have been through whatever other foster kid, it's not yours.
It's not the same.
There's no identity in it. But when you're able to have your blankets, these are my blankets, it's my space, and every time you go to another group home and you make your bed with your blankets, it's your identity. That's your space for that moment. And we really want to provide that comfort and create a space for them to really dream.
Absolutely. And that is just, I know it may sound trivial to some people, but it's really, truly important, because I'm going to tell you guys, okay, this is a secret. Shh, y'all don't tell nobody. But I'm 47 years old and I have my blankie. I have a horse blanket and I sleep with that blanket, and I love my blanket, and I cannot imagine people, I have company, don't touch my blanket. That's mine. You can have other blankets, but you cannot touch that one. Now, I'm sure, I mean, maybe some adults wouldn't sit up here. Y'all wouldn't say that, but I'm saying it. Look, I'm being transparent. I have a blanket. I'm 47. So you just imagine these kids, they don't have anything that they can call their own, you know? And I know that we have pockets and you can dig a little deeper. It won't hurt you. Like I said before in opening, that, you know, we have hospitals that run just solely on donations. Think about the amount that it costs to run a hospital with the most updated equipment ever. We're not talking about hand-me-down equipment like you were talking about a hospital in East LA, like General Hospital, where they're using secondhand. Should I say that? Yes, I can. It's in your face. Where you're using old equipment sometimes. Okay, but these children's hospitals, St. Jude's Hospital, they don't deny anyone. When kids come in there, they have cancer at St. Jude. If you don't have the money to pay, they do not deny you. They take care. You know how much it is to take care of a cancer patient. And they turn no one down. No one. And you imagine kids coming there, I'm sure by the millions from all over the world. You have kids coming from across the oceans. Okay, and and the family comes with them. They put the families up in a hotel because if the family wants to stay there with the child. So you imagine those costs. And a friend of mine told me it takes $3 million at St. Jude a year.
A day.
A day.
It's $3 million
a day. Look, I say even more. $3 million a day. Look what people, and that's people raising money. Now think about the definition of foster. Go look it up in your Webster Dictionary, whatever flavor you like it, but go look it up. Foster, it means that you are taking care of somebody else's child that you did not give birth to. These are all our children. Because you think about it, if you raise this child, you put energy and time and money into this child, and you produce a productive citizen. Okay? Just think about what they can become. But if you do not do that, you have a broken child, which grows into a broken adult, and then what it does goes to a broken society, and they go out there and cause some damage, and then what? And you say, oh, because that child did this. But what have you created? It's what we can create. We can create good things. It's up to us. Now, I think what Mary here, she's doing, she's an advocate because that's what she was raised in. And I know she has a fire in her belly about this, and that's what it takes. I'm gonna stretch here and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna bring God into this. The things that we have gone through in life is not gonna be wasted, because we're supposed to go out there and share it so we can pull somebody else up and help them, to encourage them. That's what it's all about. That's what we're here to help. You can't do it alone. You can't. So why not go out there and reach and dig a little deeper and start helping these kids? Think about it. What if that was your child? What if both of the parents died, family members died, and the child had nowhere to go? So they had to put the child in foster care. And your child was there left alone. Your child had everything one day, next day everything is gone. Think about that. Because not necessarily that people can afford to take on your children, and they would be forced to put them into foster care. Think about that. Could you sleep in your grave and wonder, how is my child doing? Is my child okay? Think about that. We say we love our children. Stop talking. Put some action behind the talking. Because, kids are our future. These kids they're bright, they're smart, but you have to put something in. It's like I say, like Mary, it's like an empty computer chip. It's all about what you put on it. First it's empty, it's blank.
Yeah, it's really important, these core programming memories that we instill in these children. If you've seen the movie Inside Out, I know we talked about this before, you hadn't seen it, but there's core memories that we develop as children, and those core memories will develop us as we grow up. Right. And that's really what the Comfort Project is about. If we, like how she was saying, if we don't take care of them now, in the future, they're going to be issued adults. And I know it's taken me, and I go to therapy regularly, it's taken me years to acquire self-esteem, self-confidence, self-worth, to know, what I want to do in life, what I'm passionate about, because I spent years living in a program, just doing what I was told to do, being force-fed different medications. And children in foster care now, things are changing, but the reality is we spend so much tax money on prisons, on war, on all these other things.
Say
but
that.
the reality is that foster children are all over the United States.
Yes.
And we would think that if you become a foster kid in the United States, that it would be almost a blessing. Like, you're a foster kid in one of the greatest countries in the world.
Yes.
You've just joined the biggest nation of brothers and sisters that are going through foster situations as well. But instead, we take in these children, and all of a sudden, they're broken children. They're not normal. They're not in normal situations. And you have to go to counseling, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. And we've stripped away their childhood. And then we expect them to be able to be functioning adults without having any functioning childhood. And so with the Comfort Project, by providing them a place to dream, by hoping to give them a gift that shows them people care, that they're not just a child going through the system, that people are aware of them, that their community is aware of them, and that they're making an effort to assist them throughout their childhood into young foster youth, being able to connect the community and say, hey, we have 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. They're interested in jobs. They want to be functioning citizens in the community so that when they age out at 18, they can have a job, they can go to school, they can have their own independence, not reliant on, whoever's going to want to help them. But it begins now by advocating for them while they're in foster care, while they're unable to do things for themselves, so that we can create a community that wants to help them, funnel them into fostering success in their own lives and being able to be productive adults. Otherwise, we're shooting them straight to Ventura County Jail.
I like this girl. I like this woman. This is great. But you know what? When you were just saying about the medication, how these young people they are medicating them. I mean, can you talk more about that? Elaborate more on the medication part?
I know there's been articles lately. There's some in NPR. There was LA Times where they're really, really addressing the issue that foster children are actually 3 times over medicated than adults. So adult psychotropics, and children are taking 3 times more than what's prescribed to adults.
Wow.
And the reality is, so let's take the average situation. A child's maybe 5 or 6 years old. They've been taken out of a neglectful or abusive home, and they're being put into foster care, where they're the first thing that they do when you get placed into foster care is, they take an assessment of your body. Just like an autopsy, they have a picture of the front and back of your body, and they mark, whether you have moles or birthmarks. And
wow.
When you're a child and you're getting, assessed in this way, right after being pulled out of a home, they give you these like little comfort packets of like a toothbrush and toothpaste and something you'd get in jail. Sometimes there's a nicer situation where you get a little stuffed animal or something like that to try and ease the process. But the reality is this is traumatic. So we're dealing with a child who's going through current traumatic stress, and then we're telling them, be normal, go to school, get good grades, have dreams, believe somebody loves you, without actually having any action behind this.
Wow.
They're not seeing anybody fight for them and seeing anybody love them or see that they're worth anything. So this child is developing current traumatic stress. We're not dealing with it as a society. Welfare, not welfare, but welfare workers, social workers that are supposed to be taking care of them, they have multiple children per case. So they're not being able to, give individual attention to each child. And unfortunately, their behavior becomes traumatic. They're acting out what they're going through. Some turn introverted and start cutting themselves because that's their coping mechanism. Others are more extroverted, start fighting and yelling. So once that starts happening, if you're not over-medicated and pretty much lethargic in foster care, then you're fighting for yourself. And if you're fighting, then you're going to end up in YA. And then you end up with this case file that basically says you're not worth investing time into, and you're not worth sending to a foster home because you're too argumentative. Well, I can't imagine even the most adapted child, with mom and dad and everything normal, going through that situation and being able to adapt fairly normally, because it's not a normal situation. It's not anything any child should really have to go through. But the reality of putting them on medication, these have long-term side effects. Now we're hearing about gynecomastia. I was on Respirodol. It caused adverse effects to myself, but because I'm a female, it's not considered the same adverse effects as it happening to a male. If a male grows boobs at 14, then it's, absolutely horrendous, because men aren't supposed to have them. But as a female, if you're lactating or going through other breast issues, well, you're a girl. It doesn't matter if you're 14. Those are still traumatic situations that you go through, side effects, different things, weight gain. I had different friends that were extremely suicidal. And I can go from A to Z on medications that I've been on. Anacapa Hospital here in Oxnard was shut down for overdosing a child. When you become a part of the foster care system, there's no mom or dad that's saying, no, I don't want them on this, or I don't think they need this. It's basically a doctor who gets paid by pharmaceutical companies to do case studies.
Tell it, Mary.
A doctor telling the judge, we believe that they need this medication, they're bipolar, they have PTSD, and the judge says, okay, we trust what the doctor says, this is what they need, so the judge says, okay, and then you have to take them. It's not like you're 14 and you have a choice. You cough and squat after you take the pills, and if you don't agree, then they're going to shoot you up with something else. So it's current traumatic stress that these foster children are going through, and then we tell them, be normal, go to school, do all the normal things that people in everyday life do, and rise above it. But we're not really giving them the tools to rise above it. They don't have socks and underwear. How are they even going to rise above their current situation without having basic necessities met, without feeling valuable? To a young man going through puberty, Axe body spray is an important thing. It seems so frivolous to everybody else. But to a young man that is trying to build confidence and establish his identity and act normal at school, that is something important to him. For a young girl that wants to fit in and doesn't want people to know she's a part of a group home or living in different situations, being able to curl her hair or straighten her hair, whatever the case may be, to feel good about herself at that moment is important. And fostering comfort during the holidays, that's when people are willing to give. That's when we go out and we advocate for these kids. We advocate for their basic needs. But, if we can go above and beyond and supply more, then more power to the community. Because, again, these children are our future, and they're coming into our community. I was in group homes in Oxnard. Now I'm in Oxnard advocating for Oxnard foster youth. I'm in Oxnard going to Oxnard College, helping Oxnard foster youth go to college. I believe that I need to be a part of my community, being a successful citizen in my community, to advocate for foster youth. I have to be the foster youth that did something, because then other foster youth can say, you know what, she did it, so I can do it.
That's right. There it is.
If she was able to accomplish these things, if she got through, being 5150, 5260, going on medication, AWOLing, and the things that happen in foster care, then I can do it too, and I can help other foster youth. I always tell myself when things get hard, because I feel like I'm a one-woman team trying to take on the world. I'm not doing it for me. I know right now, at this very moment, as we're recording this, that there's a foster kid, a foster boy, a foster girl, wondering why they were born, wondering who cares, why am I going through this, when will things change? I know as long as that's happening, I can't stop the fight that I've taken on. I have to keep advocating for them, because they don't have a voice. That 6-year-old, that 7-year-old, that 8-year-old, they're in foster care right now, and they don't have anybody to advocate for them. So every year that I've been doing this, it's grown more and more. I've gone on different interviews, talked to different people, because I know it's not for me. This isn't about me. There are so many children in foster care going through this right now. So I really, I thank you again for everything, taking the time to help put it in your face and let people know what's really going on in the community. We're going to be in the Christmas parade this year. Take a look out, keep a lookout for us on there. You can follow us on Twitter at Comfort Project, CMFRT project. Go to our website, comfortproject.org. You can see a list of the different wish lists that the foster kids have, the things that we're trying to do. And we're going to be starting a club, a foster club at the college next year. So looking for members and donations for that in the coming year, which will help kids that go to college, foster kids that are in college, get laptops and gas cards and food cards and different vouchers and stuff like that to foster success after we foster comfort.
There you go. Well, you know what, Mary? Like you said, it's not about you. It's not about me. We bring up topics like in your face that America, you need to wake up, okay? There's not just certain organizations that need your help. Foster Youth of America, they need your help. And it takes money to help these young people. Like she said, they don't have a voice. She's being their voice. And it's a wonderful voice because she's explaining to you details what goes on in the foster care system. I mean, when she was saying that, you know, they do the scans, that just did something. That did something to my heart, because just to know that staying there, you're being, that's something else. And you having people getting medicated. And I'm just gonna tell, I mean, this is a little bit off topic, but kind of on topic. I had to get my horse's teeth pulled last week, and they had to sedate her. And the medication that they gave her, it took her out just like that. I couldn't believe it. Medication is powerful. And when I asked the veterinarian, I said, what did you give my horse? Because she went like real fast. Like you said, she was kind of catatonic in a car. I'm like, well, she gonna wake back up. But like you said, sometimes they're just lethargic, right? And to see a child go through that, and like you said, they're already traumatized, they're already fearful, they're in a place, and then here you are, because I don't know, because you don't want to deal with them, or you don't want to deal with the issues that they're having. So you think, okay, well, you belong in youth authority. That's crazy to me.
It is really intense. Like I said, these children have current traumatic stress.
Yes.
And current traumatic stress, if we're not helping them and giving them tools to deal with that, turns into post-traumatic stress. And being someone that deals with post-traumatic stress on a daily basis, it's lifelong. And so if we can help these children learn how to cope normally without medications.
Yes, it's possible.
It is, but those things they take people.
Yes.
We need people interactions.
Absolutely.
And another great organization, if you want to do more than give money or items and you really want to get involved, there's a great organization called CASA. That's Court-Appointed Social Advocates. And what they do, you can sign up, you take a little course, you learn about it, but basically you become a voice for a foster kid.
Great.
You are able to develop a one-on-one relationship with a foster kid. And every time they go to court, whenever they move, you are their court-appointed advocate. You're able, maybe you can't be a foster parent. You're not able to open up your home and take on that responsibility. But you still want to be a mentor, and you want to be a part of a foster kid's life and help them believe in humanity. Because really that's what happens. You lose faith in humanity when you go through these traumatic situations over and over. You start wondering, where's the love? Where's the humanity in all these people? How can they just stand and watch me go through this as a child? Why aren't there adults that are fighting for me? So as a court-appointed social advocate, it really gives you that opportunity to fight for them, to advocate for them on a one-on-one basis. I know this kid. I spend time with this kid. They're a great kid. I want to go and take time to make sure that these judges, these social workers know what a great child this child is, whether they're 6 years old or 17. Court-appointed social advocates make a big impact. You can also look up California Youth Connection. They help pass bills. I worked with them when I was in foster care. I advocated at the state capitol in Sacramento and helped pass laws to extend Medi-Cal to the age of 23. And a couple other laws that went through. So there are other organizations that are helping foster youth throughout California, throughout the United States. But locally, if you really want to get involved, I'd recommend looking up those organizations, CASA Ventura County and California Youth Connection, as well as Oxnard College Guardian Scholars and Comfort Project.
There you go. There you go. Now, don't just say, okay, this is a great story. She's a great advocate. Get involved, people. I don't want to, I know sometimes like a mean face, but I'm not actually mad. I'm just passionate. It's a difference, passionate. Now, just please get involved. I'm going to get involved because sometimes we live in our lives and we just figure we don't think. I'm saying it for you. I'm just like you. You just don't think about it. But she opened up my eyes when she was telling me these things that were going on. I'm gonna tell you another little story that we're gonna cut out. One time my son, before he was not even 1 year old, he was a baby, and he was having what they call these grandma seizures. And so they started putting him on medication, and so he would have to go back to the doctor every couple of weeks to take blood tests to make sure that his liver was still functioning correctly. And I was like, wait a minute. I said, okay, Lord. I put them pills up. Now, my ex-husband, he didn't know I did this at the time. He thought I was giving his son them pills. So I said, I lifted them pills up to God. I said, Lord, you said you are a healer. I said, you know what? You're going to heal. You say you're a healer. My son will be healed. Now, if you don't have that kind of faith, you don't operate in that kind of faith, I don't suggest you to do that. But I'm saying there is higher sources where you can go to if you have that kind of belief. Now, I took that medication and I poured it to make sure I was not going to lose my faith and sit here and give him the medication again. Now, my son had one seizure after that, and I said, you know what, devil, you are a lie. Jesus is a healer. It's done. And I know my son, he's 20 years old right now. He's about to be 21, has never, ever had a seizure again. So me personally, I don't believe in medication. I believe that there's other ways. I think it does more damage than it does good. That's my personal opinion. You don't have to believe what I believe. I'm just saying that. Okay? But Mary, please shoot your information again.
Don't forget to follow us. Check us out. We'll be at the Christmas Parade, the Comfort Project, and the Oxnard College Guardian Scholars. You can find us online at comfortproject.org, and also visit the CASA Workers of Ventura and California Youth Connection. Get involved, help the foster youth, let them know that the community cares.
And you have it. Mary, that's for now, that's in your face.